Shocking facts about Jason Statham's life no one knows. When you hear the name Jason Statham, you immediately think of car chases, brutal fight scenes, and that cold, unshakable stare that screams, "Don't mess with me." On screen, he's the tough guy who never loses, the man who takes down entire armies with his bare hands, jumps off buildings, and drives cars like physics doesn't exist. But let me break something to you. Jason Statham's real life? It wasn't always like that. The guy you see today, the Hollywood superstar, the millionaire, the global action icon, he was once a broke hustler, a street seller, a failed athlete, and a man who went through more setbacks than most people could survive. This isn't the Jason Statham Hollywood wants you to imagine. This is the Jason Statham nobody talks about. And once you hear these shocking truths, you'll never look at him the same way again. From nothing to nowhere. Jason didn't grow up with privilege. No golden gates, no fancy houses, no Hollywood connections. He grew up in a working-class family in Shirebrook, Derbyshire, England. His dad was a street singer, an occasional painter. His mom worked odd jobs. Life was about survival, not dreams of stardom. As a kid, Jason wasn't the macho action hero. He was just another kid trying to figure himself out. But he had one thing going for him: discipline. He fell in love with diving and spent years training, hoping one day he'd compete in the Olympics. And for a while, it looked like it might happen. But here's the brutal truth. He never made it. After all that training, all that sweat, all those sacrifices, Jason Statham never got to compete in the Olympics. Imagine dedicating half your youth to one dream and then watching it collapse right in front of you. The hustler life. When his diving dreams fell apart, Jason didn't magically become a star. No agent came knocking. No producer saw potential. Instead, Jason was broke. And to survive, he hustled. He stood on the streets of London selling fake perfume and cheap jewelry. Picture that. Jason Statham, the future star of the transporter, yelling at strangers to buy knockoff goods on the sidewalk. This was no movie set. This was survival. And it wasn't glamorous. He got rejected, ignored, laughed at, but he kept going because quitting meant starving. That's something most people don't know. Before the fame, Jason Statham was literally hustling on the streets just to make it to the next day. The break that almost didn't happen. Now here's where it gets insane. Jason wasn't discovered because of acting talent. He wasn't discovered because he went to some fancy film school. He was discovered because of his past hustler life. Director Guy Ritchie, the same guy behind Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, needed someone who could play a fast-talking street hustler in his movie, someone who actually lived that life. And guess what? Jason was perfect. That's right. Jason Statham's big break didn't come from Hollywood magic. It came because he was real, because he had actually lived the grind. That role changed everything. But here's the kicker. He almost didn't even get it. If Ritchie hadn't crossed paths with him at the right time, Jason Statham might still have been on the streets selling knockoffs. The dark side of success. You think once Jason made it, life was easy? Well, wrong. Early in his career, he was typecast. Every role was the same. The street thug, the hustler, the tough guy with a knife. Hollywood didn't see Jason the superstar yet. They saw Jason the stereotype. And in the background, Jason was fighting battles nobody saw. Injuries from stunts that went wrong, financial struggles because those early movies didn't pay much, and the pressure of being the guy who does his own stunts, which meant putting his body on the line every single time. One mistake, one bad fall, and his entire career could have ended before it even began. The near-death experience. Here's a story almost nobody knows. While filming The Expendables 3, Jason Statham was driving a truck for a stunt, but something went horribly wrong. The brakes failed, the truck went off a cliff, and straight into the Black Sea. Most people would have died right there, but Jason, he survived. He swam out of the truck and back to the surface. Imagine that. Jason Statham didn't just survive crazy stunts in movies, he survived them in real life. And that's when people realized, this guy isn't acting tough, he actually is tough. The private pain. But fame doesn't erase struggle. Behind the muscles, behind the fame, Jason faced heartbreak, failed relationships, and the constant pressure of being Hollywood's tough guy. Fans see the star, but they don't see the nights of loneliness, the sacrifices, the years of grinding with no guarantee of success. Jason fought demons just like anyone else. The difference, his fight wasn't just physical, it was mental. Why his story matters. Jason Statham isn't just an action hero. He's proof that failure doesn't mean the end, that hustling on the streets doesn't mean you'll never make it, that rejection, setbacks, and pain can actually set you up for something bigger than you imagined. From broke street seller to global superstar, Jason Statham's story is the ultimate reminder that your past doesn't define your future. The real Jason. So, the next time you watch him throw a punch, jump off a building, or take down 10 guys in a hallway, remember this. Jason Statham wasn't born an action hero. He was built by failure, forged by rejection, hardened by survival. And that's the truth nobody tells you.